Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I shared my experience of hitting rock bottom, losing everything I had. It was a tough lesson, but today, I'm excited to share my incredible comeback story. In this video, I'll walk you through the strategies and the mindset shifts that helped me turn the just $6 into thousands. You'll learn about the ups and downs of my journey, the importance of resilience, and the key decisions I made along the way. Whether you're looking to bounce back from your own setbacks or just curious about how to make smart financial moves, this video is for you guys. So grab a snack, sit back, let's dive into how I transformed my situation and what you can do to start your own journey to success. So if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss on any important future updates that I'm going to post. And since I'm doing this video for absolutely free, make sure you click the like button so that you help this video in the YouTube algorithm. Let's jump right into it. So after losing out on the previous video, I was left with $6. As you can see, I'm going to start with a $6 account and I'm going to trade the volatility 10 index. So in this video, I'm trying to bounce back from the loss that I made last in the previous video. So I'm going to make sure that I enter very short trades. So make sure that you pay attention to every important aspects that I'm going to include. So right now I'm currently drawing the lines of trend lines that were respected quite a number of times. So right now I'm drawing the resistance. I've already drawn the support line. So as you can see, these lines were followed quite a number of times. The market is currently in a downtrend, but however there was a breakout in the 4-hour time frame, and then if we go down in the 30-minute time frame, the breakout is still valid. So after considering all these, you have to make sure that you consider all the trends that were even followed in the market. So right now, as you can see, the market formed more like a cup, as marked by those two trend lines that I've recently drawn. And then we then put the shadow zone that is marking the resistance, that is where the current price is right now. So with a $6 account, we cannot execute a lot of trades because the market cannot hold that long. So also another thing is, since the market is currently at a resistance level, we know that we cannot execute much because it might face some difficulties or do a stop hand before it continues going up. So it's actually very problematic to put a lot of positions. And also in the 5-minute time frame, there was more like a double top, which means the market is actually signaling a reversal. But before reversing, it has to retest that support, that resistance line once again. So that is what I'm going to trade and then leave the market. This double top is going to be respected, but only after the market has retested that resistance line once again. So I'm going to close and then I'll be satisfied. And also, as you can see, the market actually sold. So this was kind of a tricky trade because the market was actually in an uptrend, but however it had to respect that double top. So moving on to volatility 75, 1 second. This one is kind of tricky because it's not that volatile, but however it's actually safe for a small account. So drawing the trend lines, as we can see, the market was in an uptrend shortly, and then it was respecting a resistance line where I'm putting the shadow zone. So this the support line. So this support line was respected quite a number of times, which means that it's actually a strong support. And then there was a resistance line that was failed to be broken, and only broken once, creating a head, signaling a head and shoulder pattern. So this head and shoulder pattern is signaling that the market is going to sell just after passing the neckline. So make sure you pay attention to all these things before executing the market, because they help you to understand where the market is facing some difficulties breaking, and where the market is going to do a very long trend. So now I have executed the market. I'm not going to put a lot of positions because the account is not that big, but however, I'm going to hold and make sure that I collect as much profit as I can get, because currently I'm trying to retain that loss because the current trades were not that good. Anyway, as you can see, currently I am in $130 profit. This is actually a lot, and I can actually close and look for other trades, but however, I'm still going to milk this because it's a very, very long way from being over. Because as you can see, there was no resistance or support on the left side, which means the market is not going to face any difficulties passing through that area, which means I can actually close and enter more positions to collect as much profit as I can get, because we know that the market is not going to face any resistance until it faces that shadow zone where I'm putting the shadow zone right now. This is actually a point of fair value gap. If you know what a fair value gap is, I'm sure you'd know what I'm saying. But if you don't know what a fair value gap is, I'm going to do another video explaining the fair value gap, how to identify it, how to put a trade, how to know which fair value gap is actually effective. So moving on, I have executed the market. As you can see, now we are currently in $140. This is actually a lot considering the loss that we had. We have actually covered the loss. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'm going to put the link in the description box below so that you watch that video first before watching this one. And then in terms of take profit, I no longer explain, guys. You know where to put it. Just put it at the next area of confluence. In this case, it's actually the fair value gap that we are headed towards. And our account is in 400 something, which is a lot. And now we are still moving. So this is the same volatility 75 1 second that we are still milking. So in other words, you can actually identify one pattern and make sure that you maximize on that trade, because it's actually difficult to find a tradable setup, you know. So this is the fair value gap that I'm still drawing right now. You know how it works. This is an area of confluence. The market, when the market reaches the fair value gap, it tends to face some difficulties, or it even bounces back to the upside or the downside, considering where the market is coming from. So in other words, the fair value gap can act as an area of confluence, meaning an area of support or an area of resistance. This is a high demand or high supply zone where the market faces a consolidation before it proceeds to whatever direction it tends to proceed to. Anyway, as you can see, the take profit has been hit now. I'm going to close, and then I am in $1,197 profit and 82 cents. And then now I've introduced the Bollinger Bands. So this video is actually great because I'm also going to explain to you how to use the Bollinger Bands in your day-to-day trading. So Bollinger Bands are actually very easy to use. And also another advantage of using Bollinger Bands is you can actually use them in smaller time frame. As you can see, currently I'm selling. So let me break it down on how I managed to see that the market was going to sell. So as you can see, the market, I've actually drawn a shadow zone. That shadow zone was marking a support line. As you can see, that support line was not broken to the upside for a long time, as I'm drawing right now. This support zone marks an area of high selling pressure. It means that if the market or if the price reaches that point, bears tend to be stronger than the bulls. And then another point is, if you can see these Bollinger Bands, there was what we call a Bollinger Bounce. So a Bollinger Bounce is when the market or when the price touches the upper or the lower Bollinger and then comes back towards the middle Bollinger. So in this case, the market has touched the upper Bollinger. It means if we have other confirmations that are favoring a sell, we can now use it as a confirmation to make sure that the market is now going to sell. So this is more like a confirmation, but however, I might not hold it that long because there is what we call a stop hand, because the market makers already know that the market is going to sell. So a lot of people might sell at this point. Actually, a lot of people will sell, and the market makers might just try to stop out a lot of people by just hitting their stop losses, and then the market starts to move towards the middle Bollinger. But however, I'm going to full margin this one, and I'm going to wait until the market is in profit. This is more like a scalping method, and it's actually very powerful. As you can see, currently now I'm in profit. Even though this might be effective, it's not that recommended, because usually for you to make a sufficient or significant profit, you have to full margin. This is the disadvantage, because you can be hit by a stop hand. As you can see, currently I'm now about to close because I've actually collected enough. I've actually collected 75% of my initial capital. This is great. I had a $1,000 account, and now I'm actually in 2,000. So this is a lot. This is great. So in terms of take profit, I'm just going to put it on that area. But however, I think closing is actually a good idea, and then I look for other trades elsewhere. So now I have moved to volatility 90 once again. So this is very volatile. So in other words, you have to analyze the volatility of a chart before you even draw anything, so that you know whether your account is big enough to hold that chart. So if you want to trade these volatilities, make sure you find the link in this description box below. I'm going to put a link. You can create an account and make sure that you trade these synthetic indices. One advantage of this is that you can trade over the weekend, and also it offers a very good leverage. So make sure you create a Deriv account and even stand a chance to get a giveaway by Forex Comrade himself. Moving on, as you can see, I've currently drawn the areas of support and areas of resistance. So as you can see by these wicks that I'm putting on the arrow, the market was facing a resistance from the upside. So it means that the bulls are not powerful enough to push the market upwards. This is marked by those long wicks. So in other words, if you see several long wicks on the upside or the downside, it means that the bears and the bulls are fighting back respectively. So it means that the market is not just going to pass through that point as easy as cutting margarine with a hot knife. Okay, so at that point, I can introduce the Bollinger Bands and use them as a confirmation method. As you can see right now, as you can see, the reason why the market was not breaking to the upside is because it's actually touching the upper Bollinger. So there was more like a Bollinger ride, but then it wasn't powerful enough since the market was closing inside the Bollingers several times. So make sure you subscribe so that when I offer these courses, you can understand what I will be explaining, because this Bollinger Band strategy can be very, very, very useful. Anyway, I've executed the market. Now let's see if we can collect much profit. Mind you, I've lost in the previous video, which was actually not good, but however, I'm going to bounce back in this video. And then now we are in $1,600 profit. This is a lot, and we are going to continue. In terms of take profit, you always put it at the middle Bollinger. This one is actually easy, which is why I usually advise people to trade using the Bollinger Bands, because you can actually know the take profit levels and the stop loss levels. And then now currently I am in $2,000 profit. This is a lot. I'm still going to hold because it was a very good trade. It was a very good setup, and also I want to maximize this profit. Now we are in 6,000, 7,000. This is a lot. I'm not actually starting to think on any ideas of what I'm going to use this money for. Anyway, if you have anything in mind, just leave the comment. I'll check it out. Well, moving on. And then surprisingly, I actually slept. I forgot I had a trade, and when I woke up in the morning, I was actually worried that the market had stopped me out. However, it was in my advantage. It actually went in my advantage. I never planned on this, and boom, I just woke up to this huge profit. I don't even know how it happened, but it actually kind of paid out. Yes, the strategy was correct, but I wasn't planning on holding it this long. But however, I'm just going to close. I think for now, I was actually thinking I would make another trade or even two for you guys to understand, but sometimes you just have to take the profit that you've made. And anyway, since the market has reached the lower Bollinger, now we are aiming for a buy, which is a Bollinger bounce again. So just for fun, even if I lose this, and not all of it, of course, I'm just going to buy to see if the market is going to allow me to I have nothing to lose. I mean, of course I have a lot to lose, but actually I gained it from the market, so there's nothing bad about losing it. But unfortunately, I cannot execute a lot of trades. I don't even know why. Maybe the broker has actually seen my account or what, I don't know. I was only able to execute these, and I don't think I can hold these. I mean, I wanted a very big trade, so I think I'm just going to close. Let me just wait for it to be in profit. Now it's in profit and it's time to close. Let me just close. Yeah, it's time to close. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss on any important update. You can also link with me on Telegram. I'm going to put my link in the description box below so that you can link with me, and I'll give you one or two that you can understand. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss on any important updates that I'm going to post in the next video. See you in the next video.